welcome back to the American Legends Watch channel. Time to unbox my brand new Tudor Black Bay 54 on the bracelet. So here we go. That was the outer shipping box. Slide it out of there carefully. Ooh, that Tudor shield in red for the Black Bay 54. So there's the outer box. The first watch I bought directly from an AD. Let's go ahead and open up the main box here. And 1, 2, and 3. Look at that beauty in there. Is it off the pillow? There it is. Look at that. One thing I do love about the Black Bay 54 compared to the 58 is at the 12 o'clock it doesn't have the red. The red for me was just a little much. Look at how thin it is on the pillow. Beautiful Tudor rose embossed there on the crown. Some satin finishing on there. A lot of higher end watches I was noticing when I was perusing the boutiques were just all high polished, which is nice, but I like a little satin finishing. So there's some more of a high polish on the side, a bit more satin on the lugs, top of the bracelet. There we go. That is the T-fit clasp. Let's try the bezel. Oh, very crisp. .60 click, just like the Black Bay 58, which I think helps. It's just almost imperceptible, but just a hair of play, but almost none, but very crisp, very satisfying. So one of the first things that I think is a little bit confusing about the whole Black Bay 58 line and now the Black Bay 54 is the numbers 58 and 54 do not refer to any of the dimensions on the actual watch. They refer to the year in which Tudor is taking inspiration from models in their previous catalog. Tudor as a brand dates back to 1926 when it was founded by Hans Wilsdorf, the same man who founded Rolex in 1905. Originally conceived as a high-quality but lower-cost sister brand to Rolex, Tudor has a long and celebrated history, especially with its dive watches, having supplied them to Navy divers in several countries back in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. Black Bay 54 is based on Tudor's very first dive watch, the Tudor Submariner Reference 7922, which was released in, you guessed it, 1954. It featured a 37mm case, lollipop seconds hand, no date. Although the name Submariner is now used exclusively by Rolex, I only wish the Black Bay 54 still had those drilled lugs. So the Black Bay 58 is famously 39mm, so across the bezel, right under that, about 38.8, whereas on the new 54, noticeably smaller. We're coming in at just a hair under 37, that's 36.9. So I've measured it there. Very thin. And you notice that right away out of the box. That's only about 11 millimeters from the top of the crystal to the case back. And for a diver, that is quite trim. The bracelet width is right at 20, so it's going to be easy if you wanted to vary up that. Maybe try it on the rubber strap, try it on a NATO strap. But when you're up close to it, you certainly notice that gilt. Wonderful legibility with the white hands and the white markers. It's almost it's definitely an off-white. It's not a crisp white. It's more patina looking than on the Black Bay 58 silver that I have, which has much more white hands, thicker hands. The hand set here is more petite. Similar style, and it's a COSC certified chronometer, so it's going to be in the ballpark of plus or minus 4 seconds. I think there's a little bit more latitude on the plus side, and a 5-year warranty. So if it comes out of that spec in 5 years, they will service it, regulate it for free, which is great. I do have to say that that crown I don't like as much as the crown on the Black Bay 58. And boys, the finishing on there just sharp and perfect. You do get some neat distortions on the edges of the glass, which is more of a retro thing. Although you really can read it nicely from a very steep angle because those hands do set up so high. Let's check out the bracelet. It has the faux rivets. A lot of people hate the faux rivets. It does taper. So you can see how it tapers down from 20 millimeters, just under 16. So it tapers from 20 down to almost 16, just a hair under 16. All right, last thing I really want to play with, pull that down a little. So you pull down and then it just smoothly glides. Oh, that is so nice. I'm telling you, if I had gotten into watches 10 years ago, I would have tried to invent something like that myself. Rolex has the glide lock, and this is basically the same thing. And you were getting it for a fraction of the price. Wow, being able to adjust that on the go is just going to be phenomenal. So with that bracelet slid out all the way, I've got plenty of extra room here. Got a few more stickers on there to take off. But boy, is that comfortable. Let's talk about price. Okay, right now there are almost none of these on the secondary market. I've seen a couple on the Reddit Watch Exchange going for the exact same price that I paid for this from the Tudor Boutique. The issue is here in June of 2023, they are just barely hitting the US market. I've got one of the first ones to hit here because I went to the Tudor Boutique in Atlanta at just the right time. But in terms of price, out the door with taxes, it's just over $4,000. You can get yourself a Black Bay 58 on the used market, like the silver one, for half that. The Black Bay 58 in the stainless steel on the bracelet is going to cost you closer to $3,000 on the used market. So that leads us, I guess, to the final question. Is it worth it? Is the hype real? Should you pony up $4,000 if you have $4,000 for this kind of premium watch? Well, I can tell you in my case, I didn't have $4,000 lying around, so I've had to sell off several of my other pieces. But moreover, you can wear this watch for the rest of your life. They will service it, mechanical movement inside, you'll never need a battery. You can be rest assured that that stainless steel is going to hold up and not get scratched up. The only thing that I do worry about is that clasp. It's not a high polish, but it's a fairly polished clasp, and that is going to pick up scuffs. So I'm going to have to watch out for that myself, because I don't want to scratch up my new Tudor, but I'm so impressed with the quality. It's everything I thought it would be. Here it is, dressed up with white shirt and sport coat, and boy, it does dress up. It really feels luxurious on the wrist with a proper shirt and coat on. Boy, it really does look the part, doesn't it? It has all of that vintage goodness, but all of that newness. Oh man, is it pristine out of the box. Just perfect. Fits great, does slide under the cuff without too much trouble. One thing that I like to do when I don't have the coat on, I like to just fold that back a little bit on my shirt cuff. So I always see the watch. It's kind of my little signature move. But if you want to be a little bit more demure and not show it off, it will slide under there without any trouble whatsoever. So verdict, I think if you have a smaller wrist like I do, 6.5 or smaller, if fit is just perfect. If you love the vintage vibes, but you're not wild about the red accent that the traditional Black Bay 58 has, I think this is an absolute winner. Showstopper of a design, whether you go with the 58 or the 54. But for me, the 54 is going to be a keeper. I'll go ahead and take the rest of the stickers off. Hope you've enjoyed this video, everybody. Please do like and subscribe if you found it useful. For more reviews and my own watches and watch things to come in the future, please do keep an eye on the channel. Look forward to the comments below. Be happy to answer any questions. Till the next video, you all, God bless and have fun out there.